everyone. It's really good to see you all. I hope you are doing fantastic today. Before getting into the lesson, I want to share you one incident. Okay, incident in two ways. The dog chases the cat. Okay, this is in one way, and another way is the cat is chased by the dog. Okay, so here look, the dog chases the cat is chased by the dog. So what is the difference between these two sentences? Are they both conveying the same meaning? Yes, right. But are they identical? No, they are not identical. Look closely. The first sentence, the dog chases the cat. It is very punchy, very direct. But look, the cat is chased by the dog. So it is a little dramatic. Okay. So as well as if you look closely, again, you closely means you can find the dog chases the cat. So the subject is the doer here, but here the subject is the receiver. Okay, so like that only we are going to discuss. I think almost you have guess what is the topic that we are going to learn today. The topic is active and passive voice. Okay, so the active and passive voice is a very interesting topic in grammar. So as well as in your board exams, it plays a vital role. It is very much useful for in examination. You'll get it in error correction, sentence transformation, and in while you're writing report writing and all, as well as report writing, as well as in formal invitations and all, you have to use active and passive voice. Okay, now get into the lesson. Okay, so what is active voice? Okay, the person or thing performing the action. Okay, the person or thing performing the action. Mostly how the pattern is used to be subject, verb plus object. You know what is subject, right? The main character, what action, who is doing the action and all, considered as subject. For example, the teacher explains the lesson. Okay, so look here, the teacher is the subject, explains is the verb, the lesson is object. How we are identifying? Explain is a usually you can find the action, right? What action is going on? Explanation. So explains is the verb. So now who is doing the action? So the teacher is doing the action, so it is subject. So now subject, verb, and what? Okay, look, the subject, what action does the subject is doing? Explaining what? The lesson. So it is object. Okay, so you are very clear with what is active voice, right? Now we are getting into passive voice. So when the subject receives the action, then it is considered as passive voice. Look how that, and the pattern is object plus helping verb plus past participle v3 plus by, and at last subject. Okay, so how we can write here the lesson? So what is the helping verb here? So it is in the present tense, right? So yes. What is the past participle of explain? Explained by the teacher. Okay, so look, this is how the passive voice used to be. And you helping verb is a very important one. maybe it is very small, for example is, was and all, but it is the anchor of the sentence. Like in famous dialogue we told, no, தம் தூண்டு ஆங்கர் தான் அவ்வளோ பெரிய கப்பலை நிப்பாட்டுது, like that. So the look, the maybe it is very simple. It supports the main verb. Okay, so helping verb is very very important. And then mostly the passive voice, in every sentence in passive voice it comes with v3, past participle. Okay, so that is a easy way to find whether it is a passive voice or active voice. Okay, this is the structure and this is the sentence. Now you look the how this sentence is punchy, direct, and this sentence is like receiving the action. Okay, so now we go for another example. Look, Mitesh kicked the football. Okay, this is active voice. Okay, now look the how you can transform the active voice into passive voice. You have to put the object first. So we are putting the object first, object, then the helping verb. It is a past tense. Okay, so the helping verb, this was, and then we use past participle, kicked by Mitesh. Clear, right? This is how you have to transform from active to passive voice. And now what we'll do if in the board exam and all they'll give two objects. Okay, if they give two object means and the previous and all you have only one object. Okay, so if they give two object, what you have to do, what are the two objects? Direct object and indirect object. Okay, so if they give two object means what you have to do, so it is very simple. So direct object, what is the formula for direct object? Direct object, usually in object, how you can find the object, what action is going on. So by that you easily find out the object. So but here what object is direct object, to whom is indirect object. Let me explain with the example. Okay, the manager gave the the management gave the toppers laptops. Okay, so here the management is subject, gave is a verb, the toppers laptops, what they are, what the management gave, laptops, so it is direct object. To whom they gave, the toppers, so it is indirect object. So look, the management is subject, gave is verb, the management gave, what they gave, laptop, so it is direct object. To whom they gave, the toppers. Okay, this is how you have to identify direct and indirect object. So you have a formula for passive voice. For normal, what is the general formula? Object plus helping verb plus past participle plus by plus subject, right? But for the object, for the direct object, if you want to write the sentence in and direct object, when you have to write the sentence in direct object, when we have to write the sentence in indirect object, it is very simple. If a things or a action is very very important, you have to write it in direct object. If a person is very important, you have to write it in indirect, you have to transform it to indirect object. Okay, passive voice by putting the indirect object front and you have to do. Now we are going to do put direct object first. Okay, look, so as what is direct object? Laptops. Okay, so laptops. So what is the helping verb? So gave. So what is helping verb? So the helping verb is laptops. So helping verb is were. Okay, were. So what is the gives? Past participle, given. So you have to put to. To whom they gave? The toppers. To the toppers by the management. how the active voice is, the management gave the toppers laptops. How it is transformed into passive voice? By using direct object. As in the beginning, laptops were given to the toppers by the management. Now we can use indirect object at first. Okay, so what is the formula? Indirect object and helping verb, past participle, then direct object, by plus subject. Okay, to whom? The toppers. Toppers were given laptops by the management. Okay, by the management. So now we are going to see three types of this is very clear, right? And then now we are going to see three types of sentences: assertive sentence, interrogative sentence, and imperative sentence. In these sentence, how we are going to transform from active to passive voice. Okay, so when you are using any, when you are transferring, then transfer the active voice to passive voice. If the tense is present continuous or whatever the continuous, you have to use being before the past participle. Okay, for assertive sentence means statement, right? You all know very much. So she is writing a report. Okay, how we are going to change a report? First you have to put object, right? A report, then helping verb, and you have to use past B3, past participle. So before that, what we have to use in the continuous? Being. The report is being written by, writing is changed into written by, the she, the pronoun she is changed into her. Okay, a report is being written by her. Okay, then interrogative means question, the sentence, questioning sentence, question, the sentence which end with question mark. Okay, so here if a question begins with who, you have to use by whom. Okay, in the past, if you change into passive voice, you have to use by whom. Look, who broke the glass? Now how are you going to transfer that? By who? You have to put the word by whom. By whom? Was this glass? And the verb, it should move to the end of the sentence. By whom was this glass broken? Okay, and you have to put question mark. And then imperative. So imperative means order, request, and advice. Shut the door. If you take the sentence, shut the door. So if the command means, you have to use let and be. Let the door be shut. Okay, door be shut. Okay, so these are the techniques you have to use to change from active voice to passive voice in the three sentences. And again, what we are going to see is where and all we use active voice and passive voice. Okay, so where and all we use in where we use active voice in everyday conversation, storytelling, to clear strong writing. For example, she solved the problem quickly, so it is very direct, right? And then where we use passive voice, the doer is unknown. Then if you don't know the doer, who does that? For example, my wallet was stolen. I don't know who stole that. Okay, so at the time I use passive voice. The door is not the when the doer is not important. Okay, English is spoken worldwide. Okay, so the English is spoken worldwide. So now the who are all speaking is not very much important. So then you want to sound formal means you can use passive voice. Guests are requested to take their seats. Okay, these are all passive voice. Okay, and then what are the mistakes we used to generally make in the board exams? If you made a mistake means you will definitely lose the mark, as well as it will ruin the coherence in the sentence. Okay, in the composition. So okay, and when you changing the pronoun from she to her, he to him and all, you have to be very careful. Sometimes it is same tense only, right? We are changing the voice in the same tense only. And while you're moving while changing into the passive voice, we use v3, past participle. So that you must be very clear. And very important thing, some sentences that cannot be changed into passive voice. Okay, why? Because it does not have proper object. Okay, they does not have a direct object. Like sentence cannot be changed into passive voice if it is lack in direct object. For example, he became a doctor. Okay, here he is a subject, he is subject, and became is a verb, and a doctor is a subject complement. Like it is describing the subject, so it is a subject complement. It does not have any object, so you cannot change make it into passive voice, because with the help of we used to shift the object to the front. That is a formula, right? You know, very good. And then as well as you should not change the tenses. Like look, a song was sang by him. So like it is a v3. Actually you have to, the passive voice means only we use v3 only, not v2. Verb 2, past tense, not past participle. A song was sung by him. Okay, and let us have a quick recap. So verb and passive voice is v3, that is very clear. And what is active voice? Active voice is a doer, when you are focused on doer, and that is called as active voice, right? When the subject does the action. Okay, and what is passive voice? When the subject receives the action. Okay, what is the formula of active voice? Subject, verb, object. What is the subject, like sentence pattern for passive voice? Object, helping verb, plus past participle, and then by, and then subject, right? You are very clear about that. And subject is the doer means active voice, subject is the receiver means passive voice. Okay. I hope you people are very thorough in this topic now. So you know where and all we use active voice, where and all we use passive voice. Okay, now take one. If you, I think you people have a habit of reading newspaper. Take one newspaper, read it, and find the active voice and underline it and write it in your notebook and turn and transform it into a passive voice. Okay, all the best. Thank you.